Well, it's deadline time, and some decisions are going to have to be made for the Vancouver Canucks. I've been saying it for a very long time. The Vancouver Canucks have needed to do a rebuild for years, and I don't know what's taking so long. That being said, Vancouver does already have a good base of young, talented players, so I think they've already sort of got it started. What they need to do now is fully commit to another year or two of actually not being that great instead of trying to dig themselves out of the hole they're already in. To begin with, what I'm going to do is take anyone older than Elias Pettersson, and if you're not better or more important than he is, I'm trading you. Now, the only player I think I'm going to make an exception for on that list is Andrei Kuzmenko. I think he is worth keeping around, even though he's now, I believe, 27. Plus, the team just signed him to a contract extension, so it's not like they're going to be going out of their way to move him to begin with. And like most rebuilds, there may be a player or two who you really don't want to trade, but you just have to know that it's better for the team long-term if you trade them now for something you can get that's going to make the team better later. The one thing the Vancouver Canucks have not done well over the past few years is manage the salary cap and making moves continually that have hurt them when it comes to cap management. One player I'm thinking about in particular is Tyler Myers. The Canucks need to find a way to move him, even if they have to eat $1 million to $2 million in his salary for next season. I think it's wise to get rid of him now while you still can and maybe get something back. His cap space can be put to use far better than just spending it on him. The easiest move to make, of course, is Luke Schenn. He seems to be the guy that everyone wants this year. You can thank him for the time served. He was a good Canuck while he was on the team, and now you can let him go somewhere where he has the chance to win another Stanley Cup. You're going to figure out what the value for Luke Schenn is, and as soon as you have a team who's going to give that up for him, you take it. A decision needs to be made on Brock Boeser. He's been linked already to a few teams in trade rumors, and it'll be interesting to see if they can find a fit. He does have a couple of years remaining on his contract, so this one might require a little bit of finesse to get done. Retaining might not be an option because the contract is so long, but I think it's important to get something now for him, whatever that is, as long as it's a decent return. You don't want to wait it out so long that his contract is interfering with signing your young players who need raises, and you want to make sure you can move him while he still has some value. One player who it could be very difficult to part with would be Connor Garland. Garland is the one good thing that came out of the Oliver Ekman-Larsson trade. And he's a very good player with very good numbers. He's an analytics darling, but I just don't see him being the type of player you need long-term for the types of players the Canucks are going to be bringing up as he gets a little bit older. You can probably expect a maximum return on him right now. So if you can do it, you should. He's on a decent contract at around $5 million. There's still a few more years left. So a team acquiring him knows that they have him that long, and they know what he's going to be making. They don't have to re-sign him. They don't have to worry about him leaving. And lastly, we're going to take a look at the goalie. Do we want to trade Thatcher Demko? Demko now is, I think, 27. He hasn't had a great year. Obviously, injuries playing a part of it. But I wonder, can you move Demko? If not now, can you move him maybe closer to the draft or sometime else in the offseason? There's always going to be teams out there looking for good goaltending. And I'm looking at a team maybe like the Buffalo Sabres, who are a couple of years ahead of where the Vancouver Canucks are now and where they hope to be soon. But that's a team without a goalie. So is there maybe a fit there with a team like that? It remains to be seen, but I think that's another player who it would really, really be tough to let go of. But a player you could really get something for. And that's really what the Canucks need to do now. It seems clearer and clearer to me now that ownership is playing a bigger role on the team's everyday operation than they should. The reason you have a president, the reason you have a GM, the reason you have scouts and your hockey operations department is because those guys and now gals are better at those jobs than the owner is. So if the owner is having too much say, then that is going to hurt the club. And I think ownership really does need to step back and just let things happen. You also hear a lot about, oh, the fans in Vancouver won't stand for a rebuild. Well, I don't think the Vancouver Canucks fans are going to stand for crappy teams year after year. So why not just tear it down? At least show the fan base you have a direction that you need to be moving in and that you're going forward with a plan in place. And I have a feeling they'll be okay with that rather than just losing every year when the team is still trying to be good. Maybe I'm being too hard on them. I don't know. I have this thing with the Vancouver Canucks. They just never seem to do it right. They always seem to be tripping over their own feet. And like I said before, trying to dig their way out of the hole that they're already in. But you can tell me, let me know in the comments below. What do you want to see the Vancouver Canucks do this deadline? I know I'm certainly interested to see what'll happen. And that's all for now. We'll see you next time.